It
Yeah,
says
I can read
Reclamation
Reclamation
Day,
Day
and
over your left shoulder.
so it's not numbing, like it is for
Yep,
me.
no, you're good. Chat room, let us know when you can see and hear us, please.
Set up.
According to this, it's time to do a podcast.
Yep.
Is it now?
Podcast.
I'll tell you. What's been good for events, oddly enough, is linking Google Calendar to Slack.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Google itself can't tell me when I have meetings, but Google in Slack is really punctual. Kind of funny that way.
Words are hard, Seema. Words are hard. Thank you.
Yes. 1 second.
Show notes. There we go. Top of the show notes. That's useful.
I knew I sensed Switch isn't anywhere nearby.
What's wrong?
There's nothing to
Oh, you don't have the Switch.
Yeah, it's downstairs.
Okay. Awesome. So they can...
They can see and hear us?
Yep.
Yay.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Going...
Full attention.
Yep.
Ooh. All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
The Shadow Tide marches on.
Impromptu volunteer guard duty day was a success with a few casualties.
It happens. It's fine. Hey, do you like conquest points? Oh boy, do we have conquest points.
Noobs, now on demand.
And speaking of noobs, the floor tank herself, Dan Kinya, is here to talk to us about AIE and ESO.
All that and more coming up now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community
from planet Earth and beyond.
This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 342 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Octa S gaming community. The Die has been podcast. I am Akala. To my left is Mewcow.
Greetings, Vault Dwellers. Guildies.
And bottom right over a few floors, or over a floor, is Tetsemi.
I was going to say a few floors.
A few floors. Yes, you're now in the basement.
You've added levels to your house.
Please.
You've been busy.
I'd love a basement except for monsoon floods. Bad idea.
Oh.
True. That would be a bad idea.
That would be a pool. Indoor.
All right. And this week we are joined by our very special guest, Dan Kinya, who is here to talk to us about AIE and ESO. And let's face it, knowing Kinney and Mew, Fallout 76.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Hi.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, did you hear your intro, Mew?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes. So in case anyone wants to know, where's Kinney? Kinney is here.
Yes, I am right here.
She is right here. All right. So speaking of Kinney, what have you been up to in and out of game this week?
Lots of Animal Crossing and WoW and ESO and Fallout 76. There's so many games and not enough.
Yeah, because the other thing is work, so there's that.
Yeah, it's either work or video games for the most part because not leaving the house for any reason.
Yeah, and the good thing is you're working from home, so your team can't see what you're doing when you're rolling your eyes at IMs.
And yeah, I roll my eyes frequently at IMs. They also can't tell when I'm playing Animal Crossing while listening to a conference.
Yeah.
The portability of the Switch is awesome.
Most definitely.
Some would say
So, Mew, what if
too awesome, right, Mew?
Too awesome.
Yeah.
So for those not knowing, Mew was trying to figure out where his Switch, his hands were very, So Mew, what have you been doing in and out of game? I'm going to get some similar things.
Yes, very much so. And it's actually, I'm more used to using this controller because speaking of conference calls, my battle station here is actually set up so I have the big monitor, I have a small work monitor here, and then I have the gaming monitor here. So the
Nice.
Switch is usually running right here all day, which is why often people visiting me, I may not be paying too much attention because I'm usually focusing on this one and working and whatnot. But it's lots and lots of Animal Crossing, to the point where one of the benefits of working with the Tokyo portion of my company is that I have access to all of their turnip sales.
Nice.
So I usually at about 3 or 4 a.m. I'm able to. I'll usually get a ping saying, "Hey, I've got great turnip prices. Come on over, and we'll go sell her there." So as of last week, all of my housing additions in Animal Crossing are paid off.
Excellent.
It's all gravy at this point.
Very cool.
But yeah, that's probably micromanaging a little more than it's supposed to. But I'm trying to ease off. I'm trying to ease off because it's supposed to be a relaxing game. You take your time, that sort of thing. It's definitely a stress reliever game.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's been a fun escape. Pretend we're on an island and there's only a few people around us, and
Yeah.
everything's great. Other than that, a little bit of the Fallout 76 has been taking my attention. So there that also due to the FOMO of last podcast, I actually did jump into SWTOR and
Great.
have my main imp side, my main pub side characters going on. They both did their conquest cap for the week, and got caught up in a bit more story. Then actually, oddly enough, spending a little time in WoW.
Mm-hmm.
My heroic team kind of hit an interesting wall for my character in particular on heroic Carapace, because there's a lot of magic damage, and warrior tanks don't do so well with magic damage. Yeah,
Nope.
we have one button that lasts like 20 seconds, I think, and then you have to wait for it to respawn. Yeah, and that fight is constant magic damage, almost constantly. So I ended up actually having to switch over to Mewcow, my druid, and he tanked just fine.
Right.
Great.
It's like,
Yeah, go figure.
but as a result, I started poking at my already leveled paladin, and I've now been gearing it up for raiding. So I now have a ret / prot pally that I can start doing stuff with, and just kind of testing the whole, how hard is it from, because this character had gotten to 120 and that was it. Hadn't really done anything since. So I spent time, getting gear. But yeah, other than that, I made one trip to the outside world, I think they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, the res it's really high res, but
Yeah,
it's
really bright and hot.
hot and there's some lag time sometimes if there's too many people around.
Yeah. Well, we stayed in the car, luckily. But
good.
we wanted to go see see about getting a pirate ship for the backyard.
Nice.
And then hurried home. So
Yeah.
Luckily in time to still be here for the podcast and not cause any real issues as far as
Great.
yeah. So that's about it. Just staying home, staying safe.
Cool. All right, Chet, what have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? Well, with the change in weather, because we went from, man, this is the nicest April it's ever been, to,
what the hell is wrong with this place? Why do we live here?
Yeah, pretty much. It went from, low 70s to all of a sudden it's like, here, have a couple 100-degree days. And I'm like, no, not ready for it. So I've been trying to fix up the misters out front so we can sit there, because it's still nice in the morning and evening if you have the misters out there. Just a reminder for the deep south. We actually add water into the air. You take water out of the air. So yes.
Because we've had the 95-degree days,
right?
But humidity, like lots of humidity.
Oh my god!
No, we get like
thank you.
Yeah, we get like 100-degree, and it's 15% humidity. So
and that's more, and that's thick.
Yeah. And you're no, we do not live in Tatooine,
that's
Marcus.
Yuma, Marcus.
Yeah.
That's Yuma. I've driven through.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it was humid enough here that the front porch that doesn't get direct rain was wet.
Oh,
Like that's how humid it's been
that's
here.
bad.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, no, I mean, you look at your watch, it says it's 100 degrees. You walk outside and you go, this isn't bad. And then you walk
Yeah.
into the sun and you're like,
Like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah.
this is bad. So,
Daystar is out.
yeah. So I've got replacement stuff on order, and that should be here Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll get that all set up, and then I'll look at the backyard because we got to do the same thing. But other than that, I've been staying inside, and we did some raiding.
Be honest, you'd be doing that anyway.
I know, but we bailed on Nazoth and said, you know what, we'll be back because we've had a few key members of the team missing, just due to not feeling well or scheduling issues. So we stepped out and did a reset and started clearing. And of course, the first thing I get is, we're on heroic, right? And I'm like, yeah, clear the first two bosses on heroic. That's what we usually do. So we killed it, reset back to normal, and kept going. So we'll pick that up tonight.
Great.
But a lot of my time has been in Final Fantasy XIV, thanks to the Scholar and Summoner classes being tied together. Like you level 1 and the other levels, I could pick, okay, I'm going to DPS or I'm going to heal, depending on what the Q bonus was and things like that. So I got that pair up to 50. So got them taken care of. I really enjoyed both storylines, and then flipped over and started working on Ninja and took my Ninja from 30 to 50 and had fun with that storyline. Ninja's a bit of, if you're not playing Ninja all the time, the combinations are really easy to screw up on your spells, and you'll end
Then you
up...
get a little bunny.
Yeah, exactly. You just get a little bun in your head, and you're like, well, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted a big area of effect fire, and I got a bunny on my head. Great. Okay. So I did that. So that leaves for DPS. April was DPS month. I've got my blue mage left to get to 50, and I'll have all the DPS at 50 or higher.
Nice.
And
you want to do it in about an hour?
Yeah. May is looking like it's going to be tank and healing because I still have Astrologian and White Mage. Does that sound right, Mew?
Yeah.
That's the other healer's White Mage, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
because you've
so
already done Scholar.
Yeah, I have Astrologian, White Mage. I have my Paladin, my Gladiator, and my...
Well,
Dark
Gladiator
Knight.
is Paladin.
Oh. Hang on. Paladin, Warrior. Always confuses me. Paladin,
Yeah.
Warrior, Dark Knight to get to
the
50.
Paladin actually seems like a mix between Paladin, WoW Paladin and WoW Warrior. It's like a mix
Right.
of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Warrior in Final Fantasy is kind of almost like Death Knight without death parts.
Yeah,
Does
exactly.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Just Knight.
Exactly. So that's what I've been focusing on. I skipped map night last night because I wanted to finish pushing the Ninja to 50, and then now I'm going through and figuring out which Ironwork sets I'm missing, because it was like, oh, they all look the same, and then I got the Ironworks healing set, and it looks completely different from the pants and jacket look of Amy, and I'm like, so
yeah, normally like healing and casting look similar, but they palette swap.
yeah, but it's it's a dress on a female character as opposed to the pants on the aiming and striking and fending. So I'm like, oh, I'll get that set. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool.
What about you, McCullough?
I'm rolling dice virtually right now. Our Thursday night, we're trying to get to the boss battle of the campaign. We found out that the we've been dealing with a lot of political intrigue with giants. And we found out that the person that's kind of been causing some of this chaos that we thought was a giant was actually a dragon.
A giant dragon?
And it's an ancient blue dragon.
Okay, so a very giant dragon. Got it.
Right.
Just causing problems for you?
I'm sorry? Yeah, pretty much.
Ghosts?
Actually, so here's what we didn't realize: the biggest boss of them all was Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah.
We have been having
playing nice.
So, like, literally, 2 weeks ago, we had approximately 2 sessions left. We had to get through the little stuff and then to the boss. Right? We're good. We have probably about 2 sessions left. Because last Thursday, or this past Thursday, 2.5 rounds. The entire session. We went through 2.5 rounds.
In 3 hours?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's not
so
good.
now, because we've been using the new Fantasy Grounds beta, and when you update to the beta, you can't
revert
back. So now I have to go back to my program files and reinstall the other version from there. I'll need your help with that, darling.
Sure.
But pretty excited because, we're towards the end of this. We've been doing this for a while. We're actually looking at doing, our friend Tony got a one-shot that we're going to do why Mike preps the Inverness module. Correct. Yep. So pretty excited about that. And our Sunday, or weekend, I call it a weekend game. We we're supposed to accompany somebody to an auction, which was fine. We're being bodyguards. Then we realized that there was somebody out there that would probably be bidding against our person we're accompanying, just out of spite. But they took interest in my poor little sweet innocent character. So then she had to play the distraction.
Of course.
Which was now she has guilt. Now she has guilt. But in the middle of the auction, then there was an attack from some dragon cultists.
It was always fun.
Yeah. So no, because it was a auction around like wyvern eggs, dragon eggs. Yeah. It was very dragon based. Right. So last week it was quite funny for a campaign that we don't do a lot of battle. Yesterday's was almost all battle, but it was fun. Most of the cultists escaped. Some wyverns escaped.
That's not good.
But no, it's not good. It's not good. We lost an NPC that was helping us, so now there's more guilt. But the exciting thing was, a few weeks ago, our DM's like, hey, who wants to do a Call of Cthulhu game? It'll be a one-shot, but let's face it, it's probably going to be a campaign. Totally excited. Yeah. It takes place in 1937, so totally up my wheelhouse. And I am playing something I have not played in a long time. I am the femme fatale.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So whereas my prim and proper character, feels really guilty about flirting and, trying to be the distraction. No, this is my job.
Right.
So it's quite fun. She's also, even though we have 2 other females in the group, the players, she's the only female character.
Oh.
So because it's 1937,
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of fun, enjoying it. Except for some weirdness happened. Friday or Wednesday we played.
Right. Oh.
Really enjoyable time. Thursday, I had some really weird dreams that night. Kind of going between playing, physically playing, and some weird creatures in the deep that were very Lovecraftian. So then I just kind of happened to casually mention it in our chat, and friend Angela says, yeah, no, I had some dreams that were kind of like, wow, Lovecraft dreams. Like, that's weird. Our DM's like, no, I was hearing the music in my head all night. Because we have background music playing. We use the music from the Tower of Terror.
Right.
Another player happened to mention that he was fine Wednesday night, but in preparation, he was reading some Lovecraft the week before and had some Lovecraftian nightmares. So I'm like, did we open something? Did we open something? Yeah. So playing Call of Cthulhu and session 1, weird stuff happened. So
awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty happy. So that's what I've been doing. So we'll go ahead and waylay. We're gonna dig into ESO shortly, but I'm pretty sure we got some news.
AIE News.
All right, in community news, mandatory fun night. There's been no changes to the MFN schedule, but just a reminder, STO is starting in about 10 minutes. So if you are interested in STO and you're involved in the Sunday night shenanigans, you should probably pause this and go play STO. Or you can actually stream us while you play. Either way.
Exactly.
And speaking of streaming and podcast news, SOTOR Escape Podcast 336, a plethora of conquest points. 6.1.1 is live, and it is a game changer for conquest, at least. We brought our resident conquest leader and expert, B. Kavanaugh, on to walk them through. And Escape Podcast 337, Life in 6.1.1. In that episode, they talk about the new 6.11 reality, along with news, guild activities, highlights, and more from our good friends AIE SEMA, Max Legray, and Astromech EPC 337. And speaking of friends, Working Class Nerds, episode 72, Jackie Chow of Gearbox Software. I had to make sure that I didn't say Jackie Chan. I'm sorry.
Right.
I had to read. Good. All right. Marcus and Nick chat with a friend of the show and game developer of Gearbox Software, Jackie Chow. They chat about what it's like to have to develop games from home, as well as which games they've been enjoying while everybody is in quarantine land.
Right. And in Nomads news, the first Division 2 season, Shadowtide, is marching on. The current ongoing activity is the Home League that continues for another 8 days. 3 of the 4 mana huts required to unlock the intel for season's main boss event have been concluded. Then we have the title update 9 that went live last week. And to celebrate, anyone who logs in before May 5th, that's in 2 days if you're listening live, will receive a backpack trophy soda and 3 apparel cache keys, which sounds pretty cool. This update features the exotic items reconfiguration that will allow you to level up your old exotics to current gear levels, and many bug fixes. That's actually good news. I have some really low-level neat stuff that I'd like to level. Full notes are available at a link that we'll share in the patch notes, or in our show notes, with links to patch notes. There is also a free trial for Division 2, playable for 8 hours up to level 8. Any progress made during the trial can be carried forward if the full game is purchased. Reach out to anyone in the AIE clan for friend referrals as well, because they get something and you get something, like most games nowadays. Reach out before you start digging in. We have a link for the free trial info in the show notes, as well as the friend referral. But really just ask in the Nomads channel saying, hey, I want Division 2 stuff. You can hook me up.
Yep.
You'll probably be tourists. Clan activity has been a little low lately, so they're encouraging members to reach out in the community Discord. It's actually the Division 2 has their own chat channel to arrange nights for play and ask for help.
And in Diablo 3 news, just a reminder, Season 20, the season of Forbidden Archives, is still going strong, and see some AIE community members dipping back into the game here and there. Remember, you have the Aliyah Iocta-S community and the Nomads clan at your disposal. Just ask for invites in the AIE community Discord channel, Nomads. The season is scheduled to run roughly 3 months. It just started on March 13th, and there's still time to jump in and have some fun. Much of the news with Diablo is centered on the franchise's heavily anticipated Diablo 4. In February, Blizzard began quarterly updates on Diablo 4, and the first is available at a link in the show notes.
All right, and in Destiny 2 news, Guardians class is a friendly class competition in the new event Guardians game. Daily challenges provide opportunities for each class to achieve victory towards the reward. Bragging rights and class-specific decorations for the Tower public space that will serve as a reminder of their excellence for the remainder of the year or until the next event. Daily rewards and details in the games can be found at Bungie's website. Look for events Guardian Games. Bungie is partnering with Direct Relief once more for the Guardian Hearts campaign to aid in the fight against COVID-19. For those who want information about the campaign, it's in the show notes and on Bungie's website under news. And remember, you can also play much of Destiny 2 for free with Destiny 2 New Light. Access to much of the game and the first 2-year pass campaign and activities are available for free with some restrictions on content in the latest Shadowkeep expansion. Join for free and receive more information on the program on Bungie.net under Destiny/New Light. There are a few members of AIE carrying on the flight in Destiny 2. Reach out to them to arrange playtimes and ask for help in the community's Discord Destiny 2 channel. You may submit an application to the clan at Bungie.net. It's in the show notes. Also, just ask in Discord as well. I'm sure it's pinned. Officers are always available paying attention in the LFO channel, by the way. Don't hesitate to shout out there for app approvals for any AIE game.
Yep, we're kind of scattered all over the place, but we got our hands in most places.
That happens, playing all the games, you
much as we
sometimes need a little nudge.
Yeah. All right. In WoW news, we have a note from Gusty Tail. They had great fun doing the Volunteer Guard Day on both Alliance and Horde sides. That was a last-minute idea, and they racked up an impressive scores, killing invaders in Orgrimmar and Stormwind.
Nice.
They also accidentally killed Krito.
It happens. It happens. It's fine. Kratos happen. It's good.
Yeah.
And right now, Invictus is the new co-guild for invites on the Horde side. Just use the in-game guild finder and search for Elia Yakta S and apply. Just a reminder, once your application is approved, you won't get an in-game notification for some reason. So make sure you go back and check your communities panel. Default J, it could be whatever you set it to. And you have to accept the invite. So we can approve you, but then you have to then double opt in saying, yes, I approve your approval.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Approve the approval.
Yep. Approve the approval.
Two-step authentication.
Yes.
Industry standard.
Yep.
Yes. And in officer news, Fezgig is a new officer. Come learn more about the newest AIE officer on the AIE Guild website, and make sure you listen to episode 341 as well.
Yes.
And so he is primarily Alliance side, as far as I know. He's helping a lot with that clan there. Also, there is a officer spotlight article on Cyrene on the AIE Guild blog. Keep an eye out on the blog as more interviews are on the way. And more Alliance side guild news. They are now over 300 members. And HFO raid team had 25 people Friday night, which is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Well, speaking of raid teams, New Braid and the Horde side has had 45 to 50 people attending the last. Yeah, so we are now running 2 groups.
Wow.
I lead one, Cyrene leads the other, and Ghidorah jumps back and forth between the two.
They're good that way.
So is that Nubin Raiden or New Braids? Or what's the plural for our new
Newbie raids? Newbie raid die?
New Braids.
Okay.
Because we're all new. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure.
New buy.
Yeah.
New braid squared.
There you go.
Yes.
But it's been a lot of fun. We each group manages to get 4 to 5 bosses down each week. It takes us a little bit longer than usual to form up, so 5 is as far as we've gotten. But that's okay because we're having a ton of fun. If you're interested in joining, there's no item level requirement. Just be in guild chat a little bit before 11 p.m. Eastern and watch for me to announce that invites are going out, and we will get you in one of the 2 groups. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up needing 3 groups.
Hey,
if this stay home thing keeps going so much longer.
I mean, 45. I mean, most of my teams are 15 per, so you already have 3 teams right there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, have the right count of tanks and healers, and you're good to go.
I just want to know how Kenny floor tanks to raids.
It takes epic skill.
Yeah. It takes a special set of skills, and you, my dear, have those skills.
Yep.
Yeah, just dual box. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how G is managing to jump back and
That's
forth
crazy.
so often without
Yeah.
going insane.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, it's a ton of fun.
Awesome. In SOTOR news, have some conquest points with your conquest points. Did you open your inventory? You get conquest points. Did you sneeze? Conquest points. No. The latest changes to the conquest system have everyone remarking on all the new ways to gain points, as well as sparking conversations in the community and among guildies about whether the changes have made it too easy and whether there's some method behind BioWare's madness. In the meantime, it's definitely affected gameplay for many AIEers in SOTOR, as they switch out of characters more often to get personal targets met. It'll be interesting to see how it goes once the initial hubbub dies down and they settle into the new normal.
Yeah,
it's literally like, I was half joking, but it's like, send your companion to sell the junk in your inventory. You get conquest points.
Wow.
Go on a flight point. Get your conquest point.
Yeah, exactly.
Gather from some nodes. Get some conquest points.
Yeah,
I mean,
travel to a
it is
planet.
pretty crazy.
Conquest points.
Wow.
Do a thing at that planet.
Yeah.
Conquest points.
Yeah. It's if you want more, just listen to the last 2 Escape podcasts, and they have some good discussion about it. All right. And just a reminder, the public test server is now currently up, so people can work on testing the new master mode version of the current operation, The Nature of Progress. And MFN still meets Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Max Time. This week, they are celebrating and opening the remaining rooms on both flagships.
Mm-hmm.
Also, B. Kavanaugh has some fun things planned for the future. Maze Mega will be a Datacron crawl and will be up on the 22nd. Now is a good time to jump in the game because they have a double XP event going on till mid-June. And last but not least, May the 4th is Lucy's birthday, as well as the birthday of the Guildie Risavon son. May the Force be with us all.
It's also old school AIE guildie Leontine / Ogeron. Which is funny because she's a member of the 501st, so she's an Imperial scum, but the May the 4th is her birthday.
Yep.
Yep. All right. And STO news. Tonight's Fleet Night will focus around the Winter Wonderland that Q brought back. There's currently a double XP event going on. By the way, if you're going to Fleet Night, you're late. Next week they'll be running another event for a few weeks to work towards either a tier 6 ship or 1,000 Lobi crystals.
Both cool things. And in Final Fantasy XIV news, map nights are still a super popular event and profitable for everyone. What I saw, I think last night, or wasn't, no, 2 nights ago, it was like 700,000 gil.
Yeah.
Before selling anything. Before selling the drops they got. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. Just as a reminder, maps are greatly appreciated but are not required for attendance. Just show up. They just want the warm body, really.
Yep.
Tuesday night casual raid nights have been getting a lot of traction, with older raids being requested and fulfilled. Special extreme mounts are also common activities, getting cool and unique mounts for all attendees. Thursday nights, Noobs on Demand is looking to start up this week. Look for updates on their successes in the Raid Activity channel, because, reminder, Raid Activity channel is for all games across everything. It's not just for WoW, even though they're the noisiest.
Right.
Everybody's in there. Goblin, the server that AIE plays on, is once again a preferred server, but good luck getting in there because it's also locked.
Because of course it is.
Yeah, well, it's and if you look on the server status side, all of the preferred servers are currently locked for new users because everyone loves to pile into a preferred server because you get the XP bonus. Many new players are starting up on our server, so you're going to see lots of new folks running around to adventure alongside with. And since all new characters will get the Road to 70 buff, giving you a massive XP bonus on all jobs under 70, so now is a great time to start up Final Fantasy XIV with AIE. drop by the Final Fantasy XIV channel for any questions or meet the many AIE players of Final Fantasy 14.
Yep. And just a reminder, if you are trying to get Goblin early in the morning, really late West Coast time in the evening, you can get in. And also the Road to 70 buff is only for new characters. So you don't get that for an existing character to help level up your classes to 70. You have to start a new character to get that. So,
yep.
All right. And in Eve news, all operations within normal parameters. Military deployment is officially over. ISK making may resume. Translation, they're all in Animal Crossing playing the stock market.
Well, of course they are. All right. In Elotro news, Elotro has successful PvMP, so player versus monster player, last week. They had a lot of fun, and if you missed it, there'll be more PvMPs themed SNLs in the future, which is their Saturday Night Live?
Saturday Night
Lotro.
Lotros.
Lotro, there we go. Thank you. Excuse me. Not the Rona. So me today.
Oh.
Sorry. So if you missed the first one, you'll have a chance to join up the next time. Standing Stone Games has extended all content free to play through May 31st. If you're a VIP or a lifetime VIP, as a thank you, Standing Stone is giving all VIPs a free medium carry-all.
Awesome.
And with that, let's get back to Kenny and find out what's going on in ESO, Fallout 76, and possibly Animal Crossing. No, those are the two.
I knew there was a game we hadn't talked about in the news yet.
Right.
So game news wise for ESO, the next chapter is coming out called Greymoor. It'll launch Tuesday, May 26th for PC and Mac, and on July 9th for consoles. Update 26 is supposed to go live at that time as well. For all players, Update 26 is supposed to have some more server and client side optimization and stability improvements. Reading the patch notes, it looks like it's going to be a lot of stuff about frames per second and for displays, things like that, just to help. For those that purchase the new chapter, we'll be joining. Wow, we will be journeying to Western Skyrim. It's an area that should feel familiar because if you spend a lot of time in Skyrim, the geography is similar, but it'll be earlier in the timeline, so there'll be a lot of new areas to discover. And we get to go into Blackreach, which is this huge underground cavern. And during the prologue quest, you actually got to see a little bit of it, and you could also see it in the actual Skyrim game too. So it's a pretty cool area. One of the new systems that will be launched alongside Greymoor is the new Antiquities system. When they first announced it, it reminded me a lot of archaeology in WoW. But with this, you join the Antiquarian Circle. I'm guessing that's how to say that word.
Antiquarians.
Antiquarians, which I can say it right. I just can't read it right. But you join them in solitude in Western Skyrim, which will give you a quick quest explaining how it works. There will be 2 new mini games and skill lines to go with them, and a variety of items you can earn from doing it, such as mythic equipment, treasure that you can sell, motifs, furnishings, and a mount was listed. I'm definitely looking forward to check that out. And Friday after the new chapter launches, our mandatory fun night will actually be spent exploring the new zone together as a group and maybe checking out the new system. Some of our recent mandatory fun activities have been random dungeon runs, public dungeon clears, stuff. And one of our members, Thugs, created a course called Golden Lessons. If you're interested in learning about how to make gold in-game, he's got some good tips there.
Cool.
A lot of them involve the market and thievery. So there is that. In-game thievery. It's actually a skill line.
That's fine. All right.
It's the first thing I do in all of my ASO characters is level up the Thieves Guild.
Great.
Yeah, there is a guild for this. You also could get a huge bounty and have to hide for 6 months in your house, but that's a whole other.
Wait. So
Yeah.
it's real life without the bounty?
Pretty much.
Yeah. But that's all I really have about ESO at this point. We'll have more information after the new expansion comes out with different things we're doing as well.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. So now that we've gotten the technicalities out, you and Mew are here, and I know something about both of you, which is you are huge Fallout fans. So I would love to know what's going on in Fallout 76. What are you guys doing, and how is the game?
Wastelanders is really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it before Wastelanders, but this just adds an extra level to it.
Mhm.
And I definitely went Settlers first time. What about you?
I actually have been purposely avoiding making a solid decision because that's just how I am.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been kind of spreading out in all the directions because it's not just about settlers and raiders. There's also some little tiny, almost side factions, but not quite. And there's other related stuff going on. There's allies to find and do interesting things with. The first one I found was actually in the settler area, and you'll immediately come across him. So it's not much of a spoiler, really, but it's an old guy, and he's basically your grandpa. At least he acts like it. He's doing things like, pull my finger and, other fun stuff like that.
Is it Scott Johnson in Fallout?
Just about.
Pretty much.
But every now and once a day, though, he'll actually give you a little, hey, I heard an interesting rumor about this weapons cache somewhere. Why don't you go sniff it out for us? And you go and find it, and it's a neat little, hunt and peck hunt and shoot. And dig out this weapons cache, bring it back, and he gives you a legendary item. So it's actually a neat little mechanic. I'm going to try. There's a bunch of other allies too. There, that you can stumble across. Like just when you're out in the wasteland itself, you'll just get a little ping saying, "Hey, there's a radio frequency. Hey, someone's calling for help or whatever," and they'll turn out to be an ally. And it's actually you start a quest with them, and eventually they'll say, "Hey, you got somewhere to hang out for a little bit. Why don't you put this thing there so I know that it's safe to come by and visit you?" And you now have an ally sitting on your camp. And on top of the daily quests they give you, they also defend your camp, which is pretty cool. They are actually, more useful than a turret.
Considering the turret can go rogue and shoot at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's way more useful than a turret.
Yeah. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I was just hanging out, and the old guys just wander around my camp, and a feral ghoul wander up, whirl around, just start shooting, and it's dead. It's like, wow, you were a good shot, dude. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's been a neat little addition. I mean, and just you can tell they put a lot of polish and effort into this one. They actually realize that people like when things are a bit more polished, and
right.
you care about what you're putting into a game.
Just a little, yeah.
But yeah, they put a lot of little quiet quality of life changes. My favorite being that if you have any of the perks that give you bonus loot in different situations, whether it be looking at a medical thing or an ammo thing or looking in food containers, that's now automatic. In the old way, you had to push a button on that thing, and then because of server lag, you might get a notification 30 seconds later after you've already left saying, "Oh, hey, you found something extra," and then you have to go back and figure out what that container was. No, now it just on the fly, like as soon as you mouse over the thing, it's already rolling to see if you've won the extra item.
Oh,
nice. And it's there. So that's just an example. Little things that they put in to really improve how things are going.
And I've done a lot of the content in a group, and it's interesting the way they're doing that because things that you say can matter to how you're perceived later. Yep. So in a group setting, the leader can go in, and then you can go in with the leader, in which case you're tied to whatever decisions he makes while you're in there, he or she. Or you can hit the button to go in on your own and have that conversation yourself. So you get to pick how your character would react. Oh, nice. And then you exit that and then keep going on to the next stage. It works really well for a lot of the dialogue pieces. It's a little bit more cumbersome in areas with combat. Like if you're lower level and you're doing this, you might need the backup to get through some of the challenges. In case you have to run the content twice, which is what my friend and I did. We went through once for his character and then once for my character. But we both pick slightly different dialogue, and you can hear what they're saying, what the NPC is saying in response to what your friend says.
Mhm.
So you're not at a loss as to how that conversation is flowing.
Yeah. And it's also kind of clever how they've done some of them when it's not like a cumbersome public thing. Typically it'll be like you click a door and now you're inside, and that's how they separate the shared area to a private instance kind of.
Oh, okay. Kind of
So-
like the private apartments in the FC house in Final
Yes.
Fantasy 14. Okay.
Yeah, so and like she said, like when the leader goes in, everyone else has a choice when you go into that same instance off thing, saying, do you want to join the leader's instance or do you want to join your own thing?
Oh, cool.
And I like that because then you can have completely different choices going on, or like she said, you can go in and help someone if they've already gone through it.
Yeah.
And there's actually there's a reason like you don't have to worry about like waiting for everyone to be on the same quest, because you actually get like a little bit of quest experience if someone completes a quest while you're in a group.
No,
So-
nice.
Yeah, so
Cool.
it's like, so even if you aren't on the same quest, it's like, oh, you still get a benefit for being there and being part of the party kind of thing.
Mhm.
Uh,
How has the PvP aspect of it changed with the new patch?
I think the PvPers left.
Really?
I'm glad.
I wouldn't know. I used Fallout first in private servers, so
Right.
I don't
Oh,
have
true.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean, I've not had to switch over to a private server since. Like, it just, I don't. They've done enough to make it to where it's not really rewarding for PvPers that are trying to grief you to do things. Like, there's still ways for them to do it, but it requires so much effort. Like, you really have to be dedicated to making someone miserable to actually do so now.
Well, the PvP. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, some of them are trolls.
Yeah.
But you have to be like level 200 with maximum explosion perks and the perfect weapons and the perfect armor in order to actually do anything now, because it's with the, I think they call it the slap system, that
Mhm.
if you can now set yourself to passive by default. So even if you purposely shoot someone, like, nothing happens because you've told it I'm passive or pacifist. That's it. If a PvPer shoots you, it does what they call slap damage. It doesn't do full damage. It does like 1% of the damage.
Okay.
So you have to then shoot them back, and they've tried to find clever ways to trick you into fighting them, but all you do is walk away and they can do nothing. Like, it's literally like tickling you as you leave, and you can now right click a name and say avoid this person, and you will pop off of their map.
Oh,
Nice.
So you're gone.
How does
And,
it affect your camps and stuff?
I mean, they can sit there and wail away in your camps, but I mean, they're doing slap damage to that too. So
Okay.
it's unless you engage them back, like, it's not going to go full. Like, it's this they're making, like I said, they're making it to where it's not really worth the effort for PvPers and griefers to do what they were doing.
Right.
So I kind of feel like they just moved on. They moved on to something else that was less effort, because I think it's just too much effort now for them to do what they find fun. So they left.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's good.
And this whole Wastelanders thing, it's not for PvP. This is all
story.
It's all campaign story. Yeah, it makes no sense. You kind of if you want to say, oh, I'm a raider, let's be a raider. Sure, you can act that out and everything, but I don't see that. Like, there's actual NPC humans that you can harass now. So it's like, it's not worth it anymore. And I mean, I'm kind of glad that's going that way. Yeah, it's because this game was never designed well for PvP. Like,
No.
Like, the closest they've gotten, and I'm kind of hoping that maybe they focus more on, is the nuclear winter. I don't know if you ever poked at that mode at all.
I did, because I wanted the Charlie Brown Christmas tree that they were doing as the Nuclear Winter Award.
Cute.
It's great in my house. But our method of doing it was Sparrow, Thugs, and I queued up and hid under a house for a long time.
Yeah, because that's essentially it's their version of Battle Royale, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's how they do PvP. And I actually think that it should be the preferred method. Like, have it its own thing, away from everyone else, without weird overpowered stuff going on, and everyone can do their PvP over in the corner, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's the few times I've had to do PvP, it was interruption in the gameplay.
Right,
It was
right.
just,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it, it's like I made the mistake of trying to claim a workshop because I wanted to get some supplies from it, and that like literally seconds after I was done claiming the workshop, I was suddenly dead.
Oh, jeez.
Because one of the things about claiming a workshop is that you are flagging yourself PvP. So
Okay.
anyone is allowed to come and take the workshop from you,
Right.
which again makes no sense. I mean, it's they're shoehorning this stuff in
Mhm.
because the second that it went live, I was dead, and then to the point like normally when you are killed, you are mostly like disabled. Like someone can walk
Right.
over and impact you and bring you back. No,
Mhm.
they were so overpowered PvPers that like they killed me through that. Like
Right,
because
right.
you can be killed deader essentially.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Dead.
Yeah, so like I was just suddenly completely dead with no option to revive, and then I pan over and two people like shimmer out of their invisibility cloaks with their explosive weapons. Like
Right.
that's all they did. And this was before Wastelanders. And, like that's the
Okay.
only time I've ever made that's the only time I've ever made the mistake of forgetting that PvP was part of it. So yeah, I learned the lesson that if I need resources from a workshop, I'll do a first server and just sit there on my own because that's all. I'm just farming. I don't care about PvP stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, let me look at my notes and see if we did. Let's see. I talked about the allies, which is really interesting. If you've played any of the Fallout 76 story beforehand, you might have interacted with Rose.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
they do pick up with her. She's actually my favorite character in the game, even though I'm not a raider. Rose was like she was the one interesting character in the pre Wastelanders setup because it was just like she was basically a human NPC for all intents and purposes,
Right.
even though there weren't such things in the game then.
And
But yeah,
that's that storyline with her that you get to pick up in Wastelanders with the additional information is
Mhm.
really good.
yes.
She was not my favorite storyline of all of it. I actually really was hoping for more information around the Mistress of Mysteries because I loved that storyline.
That was
but-
yes.
But getting that additional backstory piece from Rose, that was a really good storyline. I like.
Yeah, there's you definitely if you did anything with Rose, please continue that. There's some good payoff, some really interesting character flesh outs that I found very intriguing. but yeah, even stuff relating to why Rose is around, like that was probably the most interesting stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you started like a brand new character since Wastelanders comes out? Is there any difference in the story?
There's a huge difference actually. So
Yeah.
my established character is level 82, is full enclave, full military, like all this, like gone through all this stuff. So all the new content, I'm actually getting all kinds of advantages because I've already gone through all this effort. Like
Right.
a thing that might have been difficult. Oh, you already have this. Yeah, go ahead. Like it's like all these extra checks that
Cool.
you
Okay.
have to figure some way around, or like, oh, you already have this. Yeah, you're fine. A brand new character, they won't stop you. They're just going to give you alternative ways of doing it.
Okay.
I'm trying to. So it's like you have to go somewhere to get a part for someone. I'm trying to be as vague as possible.
Right.
Right. Of course. No spoilers.
And because I'm military, there's a different option now. Oh, you're military, yada yada yada. If you're a brand new character, well, you have to be, typical Fallout fashion.
Mhm.
You either shoot your way through, or hack your way through, or picklock your way through, or sneak, or your typical stuff. Like there's
Okay.
ways of doing whatever you need to do. It's just because I've gone through, because I have an established character, I have other avenues open to me to do fun stuff, and I like that. Like and even as like when you're talking to the new human NPCs for the first time, there's even dialogue difference between the two. For new characters, it's like, oh, you're fresh out of the vault, aren't you? Or if you're been there a while, it's like, yeah, I've been out here for a year already. I can tell you about the place you're living in now.
Nice.
So
Gotcha.
so yeah.
That's cool.
How about
Yeah,
you?
so- And I played through some of it on the PTS originally, and that's where I created a brand new character. And you'll get to a point where you're talking to a character and they say, yeah, you're not high enough level to do what I want you to do, so come back.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay.
Which was good because going back on my main character who's level 147, on once it became live, where that quest took me, yes, I needed that gear, that stuff,
Right.
in order to withstand some of those fights. So I could totally see why they did it that way, but there was still enough lower level content to get you to that point that just running the old quests would still level you up fast if you really wanted to rush it. But these games, you don't need to rush them. Just take your time, enjoy the story. That's the important thing. My primary character went Settlers all the way through. I'm going to create a fresh character to go Raiders all the way through, just so that I see both sides of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Yeah, and I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff to take through, all kinds of interconnecting parts. You know, if you miss going to the DMV, hey, we got a DMV for you. You can deal with that stuff.
Because
Oh
that's
my
what,
gosh,
that's what
it is.
everyone's missing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really reminiscent of the horrors of a DMV. I'm just going to tell you.
They did such a good job on that quest line. It was pretty funny, but yeah, it's really well done. It's just so interesting. All the different pathways. There's there's a military line. There's the enclave. I still haven't done anything with oh geez, what are they called? The other faction, the Free Staters. I haven't dug deep into that. There's a whole quest line with the Free Staters that you can do. I've kind of done a little bit of it, but I haven't finished it out. But there's all kinds of stuff there, and you can get special signage and vendors and stuff like that, and
Cool.
same thing with there's just so much to dig into.
Yeah, I think at this point I'd almost have to start a new character because I'm getting Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 storylines mixed up, and it's like
fusing together.
Like, wait a minute. So I may just start a brand new character and go from there. So
yeah, and I'll have to say that like Wastelanders was to me a good enough change that it feels more like a Fallout 5.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, good.
Like Fallout 76 at first felt like, oh, here's a multiplayer version of Fallout 4.
Right.
Right.
Here's everything I didn't want in Fallout with extra people in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's Fallout 5 with some people hanging out.
Cool.
It's like, oh, is that a real person or is that an NPC? Like, it's actually getting more difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, they're in weird looking armor. You can kind of tell
because they have names. So you look at them at a distance and you see the name floating over their head with their health bar, and you're like, is that a real person?
Right.
And you have to get closer to find out.
Yeah.
And how much are the private servers?
It's something like the yearly price is super low. Here, let me look it up real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, I did the year when it came out, and I honestly don't remember.
I thought it was
What
like
it-
100, wasn't it?
I
remember talking about it.
100 a year. Yep, 100 a year.
Yeah.
It is $13 a month, so it's an MMO.
It's an MMO
cheap,
subscription. Okay.
Yeah.
a cheap MMO subscription. It's
Yeah.
more like
That's reasonable.
a Final Fantasy 14 subscription.
Very cool.
Oh, and it's similar to ESO in the fact that you get atoms, which you can spend for customization in the Atom Store, included in that price.
Oh.
And
okay.
the atoms you get basically work out to that dollar value. So it's totally worth it when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you're ever going to buy atoms, don't just get first instead, because then you get all the extra perks like being able to put stuff in stash and having a private server if somehow someone does start harassing you, or if you just want to have a private server with 80 of your friends.
With your friends.
Exactly.
You get a bunch of free outfits and other stuff that's unique to first, so it's worth even just getting 1 month of it. Just like ESO, just like SWTOR, where you get perks for just having it for a month and then letting it expire. What else is there? I know there's some other stuff in there.
The survival tent is nice. It gives you a second free travel spot anywhere you place it. It also has a bed, a scrap box, and you can decorate those. The ones for Christmas had Christmas lights on it.
Fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they come in handy. Yeah, they're really good for if you're wanting to go after one of the Scorched Beasts or the Scorched Beast Queen. Just drop your little adventure, your survival tent that we have a little place to run over and grab stuff and run back out. I actually used one of those to go back and get more ammo because when you're fighting the queen, of course, you pretty much all your ammo's gone.
Yeah.
So you got to get some more. But yeah, it's been a night and day change. I mean, yeah, it's obviously sitting on top of what's already been there, but like Wastelanders and On feels like a whole new game. It actually feels like it's worth playing now.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
All right. So anything else with Fallout you want to throw in there, guys?
Or ESO.
ESO, anything?
I'm having a ton of fun in both games. There's not enough hours in my day for the games
Nope.
that I want.
Accurate.
We need time stop spell. All right. So that's our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting titles, which Seema jumped the gun on, I want to thank Kenny for joining us. And Kenny, where can we find you? Besides on the floor drinking.
Right there.
Well, of course.
Right there. There's
on
Kenny.
On Twitter, I'm at DanKinia, and I do live streams of the Mandatory Fun Nights in ESO and the New Braid runs that we do on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/DanKinia.
Awesome. Seema's killing it tonight.
I know, right?
All right. If you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Mewcow because Mewcow is still taken for some reason. Makala is at Cyberwaif. Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. And we record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website. That's aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul on Twitter or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
All right. And now, if we had some, it would be time to play all of the great AI member segments.
Hey, I'm actually doing some WoW stuff again, so maybe some alt stuff might happen.
Okay.
All right.
Trying to get it figured out. Trying to get it figured out.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
All right. And next time, we're going to be talking to Abavan about Final Fantasy XIV. So until then, AIE, this is Makala.
This is Mewcow.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
Bye.
All right.
Awesome show.
So-
Thanks, son, for coming.
Yep.
Now I see
exactly.
yeah, killed Deader. Yeah,
Killed.
yeah. I did not know there was a whole nother level of dead in that game until that happened.
Like there's mostly dead, kind of dead, and dead.
Because I actually
We
I have some legendary gear that has an affix on it that gives you a chance to revive yourself
Right.
when you're in that dead state.
Yeah.
So it gives you're like basically every 15 seconds it's doing a roll to see did you do it? Did you do it? You're at 0 HP. Are you gonna die? You're gonna die. And then
Right.
when the PvPers get in there, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
You're just dead.
All right. Thank you, chat room, as always. You guys were
Thank you, as
awesome.
always.
Yep. All
And
right,
Kenny,
we're going to
it's
go
all
ahead
you.
and cut the stream, and we'll let Kenny pick the show title, and I'll get it up on the feed tomorrow. All right, bye, chat room.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye, chat room. Thank you.